Good day, guys. I hope you are well. As previously promised, we said that we will be preparing for the test, the MASH test. So now in this test, we said we're going to do it by each question, right? So today we're going to deal, in fact, on this video, we'll be dealing only with question 1, which will probably look the same as this one for your upcoming test. So let us look at number 1 there. Number 1, they're saying to us, consider the following numbers, which is 4, -9, square root of 125, 7/8, a pi, as well as a cube root of 64. So that is the first question. It says, write down all the rational numbers from the list above. So now, first question, what is a rational number? In simple terms, what I normally say is that a rational number is a number that makes sense. It's a number that you can easily remember. Okay, is a number that can be written as a fraction. Most importantly, is a number that can be written as a fraction. Okay, it's a whole number. It is a whole number. It's a natural number. It is an integer. Okay, those are rational numbers. So now looking here, what are our rational numbers? So firstly, 4 is our rational number. -9 is a rational number. So is square root of 25 a rational number? How do we verify that? Put it in the calculator. Put it in the calculator and check how much it gives you. So if you say square root of 25, it gives you a 5. Meaning, a square root of 25, it is also what? A rational number, square root of 25. And then also go there by 7/5, put it also in the calculator and check how much it gives you. Okay, so I have 7/8, not 7/5, I meant 7/8. There it gives us 0.85. Can you guys easily remember that? Yes, correct. You can easily remember that. So meaning this also falls under a rational number, 7/8. And then now we also have a pi. Put this pi as well in the calculator and check how much it gives you and tell me if you can remember that. So we have square root of, a pi. Now look here. Can you guys easily remember that? 3,14159. Can you guys easily remember that? No, you can't, right? I can't. It takes time for me. So it doesn't make sense. I can't write this as a fraction. So it does not fall under rational numbers. And if it does not fall under rational numbers, it means it's an irrational number. Okay? And then we have the last number there, which is a cube root of 64. Let us check the cube root of 64, what it gives us. Cube root, there's our cube root of 64. So now cube root of 64, it gives how much? A 4. Can you guys remember easily a 4? Yes, we can. So meaning cube root of 64, it is also a rational number. So this was the first one. Let's cut it. Let us number it correctly. So this was 1.1.1. And then now we are at 1.1.2. So for 1.1.2, they're saying write down all the whole numbers. So now what is a whole number? A whole number is numbers on the number system starting from 0 going up. Correct? So now we have a number line. This number line, this is at 0, 1, 2, and so forth. So a number line, a whole number, a number starting from what? From 0 going all the way up. So now looking here, the first number is what? It is 4. So 4 is a whole number. Is -9 a whole number? No, it's not, because it is on the negative side. Remember, we're going only that way. And then how much is square root of 125? Remember, square root of 125, it is a 5, right? So meaning it's also in that direction. And then 7/8. How much does 7/8 gives us? Let's quickly, I did not write it down. 7 over 8. It gives us 0.875. 0.875. Remember now, 0.875, it is also in what? In this direction. But why is it not a whole number? It is not a whole number because it has decimal numbers. So if ever you have any decimal numbers, we cannot call that number a whole number, nor can we call it a natural number or an integer. These numbers, they should not have a decimal place, okay? Meaning this one is also out, this is out. And then the last one here, cube root, remember cube root of 64? When you put it in a calculator, it gives you how much? A 4, right? Meaning this also, it is part of our whole numbers. This also is part of our whole numbers. So cube root of 64. And then now let us go to 1.2. 1.2, they're saying to us, write each number as a prime, as a product of its prime factors. And I said, guys, for this one, go use a calculator. The calculator here, it makes your job much more easy. Remember, we said we do math because we want to do things effectively and efficiently. So now if we have something like this and it's also only 2 marks, it means our calculator can use it. And they also did not indicate or emphasize or instruct us not to use a calculator. So if they did not instruct you not to use a calculator, it means you can use your calculator for this answer. So now let's see how we can answer this in our calculator. So we're going to have 160 and 400. And they said we should write them as the product of its prime factors. So now we go to our calculator. For the first one, 160. We're going to write it down. It's going to be 160. Then you press equal sign. You press shift button. Then you press effect button. There it gives us how much? 2 with the square root of 5 multiplied by 5. Then we go and do the same thing with a 400 as well. We go there and say 400 equal sign shift back. There, 2 exponent of 4 multiplied by 5 exponent of 2. And then again here, remember, they will then give us a mark for this, a mark for that, which will then be 2 marks. Okay, and remember here, everything must also be marked, and you should not get anything wrong there, guys, for 1.1.1 and 1.1.2. Should you get anything wrong there, or should you have one thing missing, you're going to get this thing as a wrong. So everything should be correct. Okay, so now let us move on. And then for 1.2.2, 1.2.2, they're saying determine the highest common factor of 160 and 400. So now our highest common factor, guys, remember, a common factor are numbers that appear on the 160 and also appear on the 400. So now what are those numbers? The 2 is appearing as well as the 5 is appearing, okay? But now I usually say because it's the highest common factor, we should also look for the exponents. But now because it is high, we're going to look for lower exponents. So between this exponent and that one, which one is the low one? It is this one. So the lower one is the one that we're going to write there. And then we do the same for the 5 as well. Between this 5 and that one there, which one has the lowest exponent? Is the one on top, right? So I'm going to put it there as well. So now, finally, we go back now to our calculator. We say 2 exponent of 4 multiplied by 5 exponent of 1. Then exponent of 1. And then our answer here is how much? It is 80. So that's how we go. So that is how we go about it, guys. That's how we go about it. And then now, going to the lowest common multiple. The lowest common multiple, we are looking for the multiples in this case. So which multiples do you guys see here? We have multiples of what? Of 2, as well as the multiples of 5. So we write it down. you can see we have the multiples of 2 as well as the multiples of 5. But now we're going to do the opposite. Remember what we did with the highest common factor? We're going to do the opposite with the lowest common factor. So now for the lowest common factor, we then say, looking at the exponents of 2, we're going to, because it is a lowest common factor, we're going to look for the highest exponent. So between these two, the 5, the exponent of 5 and the exponent of 4, which one is the highest? It is 5, right? So I'm going to take that one. So we have 5 there. And then as well on this one, what do we do on the 5? Between this one and the 2, which one is the highest? It is this one, right? So we're going to have that exponent of 2 there. And then you also go into our calculator, we put it down. Now our exponent there should be exponent of 5 and then an exponent of 2. And then now finally our answer, it is 800. And I think you guys can see now, for this one, we only have 1 mark there as well as 1 mark there, right? So now these ones are quite simple. They just need you guys to practice over and over and over. But on our group chat, I will send you guys more and like lots and lots of practice papers that you guys can use to practice. Okay, so you guys will do very, very, very well. If you practice, you watch this video and you practice for your test, you should get good marks for that. Okay, so now let us go now to 1.3. Let us go to our 1.3. 1.3, it says to us, let me quickly go down a little bit here. 1.3 says the price of milk increased from 15 rand to 18 rand. Calculate the percentage increase. So now what we do for this one is that we say the new price, which is 18 rand, we minus it by the old price. And then we divide it by the whole price, and then we multiply that by 100. So we can see how much that money is. I mean, the percentage that we have. Okay, so now we'll see here 18. In fact, let me do it this way. We have 18 minus 15 over 15. So now remember, you also multiply our answer by 100, and then now you will see that our answer will be 20%. Just to give a little bit context on this question, remember they want to know how much did you increase for 50 rand to 18 rand? How much did you guys increase with? We increased with 3 rand, right? So now 3 rand is how much percentage of 15? And how do we find that? We simply find it by saying 3 rand divided by 15, right? Which will give us 0.2. But now we cannot simply say 0.2. They want this thing in a percentage. Remember, they want it in what? A percentage. That is why we multiply it by 100. That's how we got it to be 20%. But now, the easier way, not necessarily an easier way, but a shorter way to do it, it is if we go through this way. So you get an answer for this and answer for that. That is how you get your 2 marks. Okay? And then now we go to 1.4. 1.4, they're saying between which two consecutive integers there's cube root of 85 lie. So now how do we do this one? We want to find out how much is cube root of 85. We check that. So now let's go there and check how much is cube root of 85. Shift 85. So now this cube root, they're saying it is 4.3, right? So now on our timeline, let's say we have a timeline which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. Where does 4.3 lie? 4.3 in this case is going to lie where? Between 4 and 5. And that is where the question was, between which two consecutive integers does this lie? So meaning this, it lies between 4, 5. So for 1.4, our answer will be between 4 and 5. All right. And then now we go on to our last question. For our last question, they're saying decrease 36 in this ratio of 5 to 6. So now, guys, in this one, this is one of the very easiest question. We just take the higher number there, you make it your denominator. I mean, you make it your denominator a higher number, so you're going to 6 over 5. Then you multiply this by that 36 is equals to, I think you should be getting something like 30 if you do that. Let's quickly find out. We're going to have 5 over 6 multiplied by 30. Our answer is 25. So now, did this number decrease? Yes, it decreased because it got to how much? To 25. So sometimes they would say increase this thing. You still follow the same procedure, just that here you change the bigger number, you write it where? On top, and the small number you write at the bottom, and then you multiply. And then whatever number that you'll get, you will see that it will be bigger than this 36. Probably it will be 40 something, and you will see that it has increased. Okay, so now that's how we go about our question 1. So please stay tuned and subscribe so that whenever I send the question to you guys may be aware of it. Thank you so much.